All right, we're back with another pick'em video. It is Monday, April 21st in the NBA. Two more playoff games to talk about in this one. Going to talk about my favorite plays. Not going to do a full deep dive in this one just because I think it's a little bit more straightforward. We have a game under our belt. And yeah, just going to be attacking guys I think are going to be in a good spot or a bad spot to hit their overs or unders or whatever it might be. So we're going to hop right into things. If you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. All those good things help out the channel. And let's hop into the recap. Then we'll talk about the injury news, potential minutes, and then we'll actually start talking about some plays. All right, so quick recap of the last video we put out. Didn't have a video yesterday. It's Sunday. I usually don't do videos, and it was also Easter. So hopefully everyone had a good Easter with their families. And our first play was Brook Lopez over 11.5 points. These were the games on Saturday. They got crushed. Pretty much everyone except for Giannis pretty much did nothing. You did have some guys step up like KPJ and Gary Trent Jr., but Brook Lopez a little bit minimized. Not a lot of shot volume, and also not a lot of time on the court. I think he only ended up playing 21 minutes in that game. So I don't hate the read. Definitely something to look into, especially if it's going to stay a little bit closer. I think he's got a good spot to get over this, and it'll probably be the same line next time they play. Norman Powell over 2.5 3-pointers made. That was a plus money play. He does end up on the hook. He just doesn't look amazing in this form right now. He was cooking early in the season, had that injury, has not been as well or as good recently, but still 2 threes, ends on the hook, almost gets there, 2 of 6 shooting. Not the end of the world. Really fun game, and we got that game again tonight. Jalen Brunson over 27.5 points. Easy cash there. He did twist his ankle, but ended up closing out that game really, really strong. Could be someone to look at again in today's matchup. We'll definitely talk about Brunson a little bit, but really good read overall. Cade Cunningham over 27.5 points. Very much mitigated early on in the game, but got cooking a little bit later on in that game. Didn't shoot very well, a lot of volume, so this could be another good spot to attack Cade Cunningham. Again, they're not going to hit their overs every single time, but Cade and Brunson both have really good matchups to do so far in this series. And they're going to be playing chess. Like, they're very bad pick and roll ball handling defenses overall. Both these teams are, but they're not going to do that every single time. They're going to hone in on Brunson. They're going to hone in on Cade. And if these other guys are killing them, like we saw in the first game, that's when they're going to start, hey, maybe we should go back to our bread and butter, how we typically play defense. So really going to be fun to break down that game today and attack some lines in that one. And then we had Rui Hachimura under 12.5 points. He stayed under. He did hit 3 threes, but I think he ended with 9 points. So good read overall. The Lakers kind of looked a little bit lazy out there. Obviously, Luka has a great game. LeBron, not amazing, but still did his thing a little bit, and the T-Wolves just looked like they wanted a little bit more. So that's the recap. Kind of hitting 50% right now in terms of the playoffs, so we're going to try to do a little bit better than that today. Attack some guys that I'm really liking today. Kind of go away from the guys that I'm more wishy-washy on and being like, okay, this guy probably in a good spot. I really just want to go to the guys I'm like, this guy is going to be in a good spot, probably going to get the minutes to hit his lines or not, and that's what we're going to do today's video. All right, so jumping over to RotoWire now. Again, only 2 games, not too much injury news. I will say Isaiah Stewart is a game-time decision, and then Jaden Ivey's still out for the Detroit Pistons. Might return at some point in the playoffs, but we'll see if they can get far enough where he can return. But as of right now, still out. And then for the Knicks, everyone's active and ready to go. Again, Brunson did twist that ankle a little bit, but he looked very healthy to end that thing. He should be out there and look fine today. Then we got the Clippers in Denver. No injury news on the Clipper side of things. We love to see that. Aaron Gordon, probable tag. He should be out there ready to go. Played a million minutes in that overtime win, the other day, and expect him to be out there once again today. We'll quickly go over the projected minutes. Cade going to get as much time as he can handle. Tobias Harris was pretty good in terms of his output, but plus minus didn't say the whole story. He was one of the worst plus minuses on the team, but again, going to get as much run as he can handle and played really well. Duren is someone that I could see potentially losing some minutes here. Did not play well at all. He was they were attacking him. He got in foul trouble, all those different things. It's not an amazing matchup for a guy like Duren, especially someone who gets into foul trouble, and then you got Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns on the other side going right at you, trying to get you some foul trouble, and that's what we saw in the first game. Tim Hardaway Jr., Oscar Thompson projected for 24 minutes, and then we got Beasley, who was red hot and start this game, 6 threes in the game, and again, we focused on the pick and roll ball handling defense. Both these teams kind of went away from that, and they were like, we're going to let these other guys shoot their shots, and we're going to limit Brunson, we're going to limit Cade Cunningham. That's what happened in the first half. Both these guys did not score much in the first half, but then we saw, Malik Beasley for the Pistons go off. We also saw guys like OG Anunoby really cooking for the Knicks. So I expect it to kind of be more of a chess match. It's not going to be as cut or dry as like a regular season game. These teams are going to switch up their defensive schemes. So again, we'll mention it a bunch of times throughout this video. Both these teams typically are very weak in that pick and roll ball handling. They let you go one-on-one and they limit the spot up shooters. We could see that throughout the game changing depending on how the game's going. And now that we have game 1 under our belt, we can kind of try to predict how these defenses are going to look, at least to start the game and things like that. On the Clipper side of things, or I guess we didn't do the Knicks. The Knicks side of things, they're going to play their guys as much as they can handle. Someone I'm really looking at in terms of a bounce back spot here is going to be Mikal Bridges. early foul trouble kind of ruins his game, and doesn't shoot very well. And then at the same time, you have Cam Payne coming here, shooting the lights out. Part of that 21-0 run in the fourth quarter, that was huge. And then Mikal Bridges ends up not playing much at all in the second half. I think he ended up with like 25 minutes on the night. I think he's going to be in a bounce back spot here. He plays better at home, and someone I'm definitely interested in. But he's going to play his starters as much as possible, unless someone comes in here and starts, ripping threes off the bench, like a Miles McBride or a Cam Payne like we saw. And that would be the only thing I think that would switch this up. Clippers side of things, Clippers in Denver, we're going to get as many minutes as possible from these guys. They are coming off an OT game, but Kawhi's been playing big minutes. James Harden and Zubac look great in this game. Norman Powell was a guy that we went to, but hasn't looked as good in this matchup. He does have a pretty good matchup to score the ball. Well, I think they're going to come out and say, hey, James Harden cooked us in that first quarter. That's why the Clippers were up in that first quarter. They were letting James Harden just kind of do whatever he wanted to do, which is going to make me try to pivot to a James Harden assist line, because he was able to be much more of a facilitator in that second half when we saw guys like Zubac and Powell start hitting some shots. Even guys like Nicholas Batum was huge off the bench, like we kind of thought. Then we got Denver's side of things. Again, Aaron Gordon is going to be a game-time decision. Probable, should be ready to go out there. Jokic, Murray, all these dudes are going to get as much time as they can handle. I didn't think this was a great matchup for a guy like Aaron Gordon, but I was totally wrong in that one. He played really, really well and had a lot of points in this game. We saw Jamal Murray do what I thought. A lot of that in the second half. I think he's someone we could attack again today, and I think they're going to try to double Jokic a little bit better than they did in the first game. That's something they tried to do, and they were just a little bit late on their rotations a lot of the time, so maybe they hone in on that a little bit more. And Jokic potentially a little bit more limited, but at the same time, he's the best player in the world right now, so it's going to be tough to limit him in any capacity. That's what we got going on. Westbrook was obviously huge off the bench. MPJ was someone that lost a lot of minutes in that game. We saw Christian Brown play a whole bunch of time, and again, Westbrook was like winning the game at the same time as losing the game. It's kind of what you get with Westbrook, so I expect him to probably be out there a lot today. They did end up getting that win, and he was kind of a big part of that. A lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of hustle plays, a lot of winning type plays. All right, so hopping into Props Madness like we always do. This is the tool we use every single day, every single video. It's an awesome tool. It gives you so much data and information and filters and all these different things that can make you be a better, smarter sports bettor. So you're not just out here saying, I think. You can actually look at the stats, how these teams play defenses and all those different things, how similar players are going over or under their lines. It's an awesome tool. You can actually check this out for a free week using my link in the description down below. You use code RICH, you get 7-day free trial. You also get 25% off your first month or your first year. And yes, super excited to use this for WNBA as well. So we'll start with the Knicks side of things, and Jalen Brunson at 27.5 points. Absolutely someone I'm considering taking the over. I'm a little bit scared of the ankle injury, but at the same time, he almost played better after that ankle injury. And they were really honing in on him the first half of that game, and the Pistons might do that again. So Brunson at 27.5 points, he's a good enough player, a lot of volume in this one to get his points line on the over every single time. But at the same time, it's not something I'm going to be attacking in this video as an official pick just because of those other situations. The Knicks were only up by 2 points when they were really focusing in on Jalen Brunson, and you had OG Anunoby, you had Mikal Bridges cooking, or not Mikal Bridges, you had OG Anunoby and some of these other guys playing well. But at the same time, Jalen Brunson was obviously a huge part of their 21-0 run. He was a huge part of the end of this game. And I think if they limit him and say, hey, we're going to let OG kill us, we're going to let Mikal Bridges, beat us, Cam Johnson, or Cam, whatever his name is, Cam Payne off the bench, kill us. We're just going to let Jalen Brunson not do his normal thing and try to let these other guys try to beat us. So Jalen Brunson, 27.5 points, is definitely something I'm considering, but at the same time, I'm probably not going to him as an official play. I'm going to skip right to Mikal Bridges because his line's at 15.5, and I think we're getting pretty good value on this line. Obviously, hasn't scored 8 points in a while, but the last time he did it, had a great bounce-back game here, 20 points against the Hawks, played 36 minutes in that one, 33 minutes in this one. Obviously, regular season's a little bit different, but you can see a lot of these games that he has a bad shooting night or a bad minutes night or whatever it might be. Like here's a 29-minute OT win that they had, and he just played bad. So he shot 2 of 11. Tibbs is not, or Thibs, how do you say that guy's name? Tibbs. I feel like I hear it different every single time, but he only played 29 minutes in that game because he was shooting horribly. He's not afraid to go to these other guys if Mikal's not playing well, but then had a pretty good game against the Warriors. Didn't get over his line, but what I'm trying to say here is every time he has a bad game, he seems to come back well, and it's not like he's having a couple bad games in a row here. So I seem to think that I think we're going to get a pretty good Mikal Bridges game, pretty good bounce back spot. You see a lot of players that play similarly to Mikal Bridges. A lot of these dudes are going over their lines, so that's always good to see. Spot up in transition, it's not amazing to look at, but again, this is a chess match. This isn't going to look exactly the same every single time, and I really do think they're going to hone in on Brunson because that's when the game is a little bit closer, and hopefully Mikal Bridges can actually shoot some shots and make some shots today. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of minutes, but I think he's in a good spot for a bounce back opportunity here, so 15.5 points. Pretty good spot for him. Head-to-head, he's played pretty well against these guys, 15, 20, 27, and 17. And then, of course, that 8 spot, I think we're getting the value on this play. You could look at some assists and rebounding. I'm just going to trust his points here. 3-pointers is also something I'm considering, but I don't want to have to trust him to make some threes. I think, again, they're just going to be focused on Brunson, at least to start this thing like they did last time, and Mikal should be one of those beneficiaries on the other side of things. You could look at OG too. He played really well last time, but that, again, just makes me think the pivot to Mikal Bridges is even that much better. And then touching on some of these other guys, Karl-Anthony Towns is someone we went to last time for his assists, and we got pretty good value on the play. Now it's at 3.5 for a decent amount of plus money, but he's assisted against his team really, really well. It just makes a lot of sense. Their interior defense looks really good, but at the same time, Duren is not someone that can play a whole lot of minutes in this series because of the foul trouble and just the way they play basketball right now. So Karl-Anthony Towns' assists looking really good. You can see similar types of players absolutely crushing their assist line. 13 of the last 15 guys that assist the ball similarly to Karl-Anthony Towns, these are all big guys, are going over their lines. So I do think he's got a pretty good spot here to score some points as well. So if you want to go to some points and assists, he's actually gone over in every single matchup against the Pistons so far this year. Obviously 55% hit rate's pretty good. The defense looks pretty good for him not to do it. But at the same time, if Duren's not down there, they're going to look a little bit smaller, and Towns might be able to do a lot more damage down low and a lot of points in the paint for them in that first game as well. So I like Towns potentially to get some points. If he's going to get 35 plus minutes, obviously this is going to look pretty good. 65% of the time he's going over this. Got 39 minutes in that other game, so if we're going to get 38 plus minutes, 69% hit rate. So I think Towns points and assists, whatever it might be, I think he's got a pretty good angle here as well. And then again, I'm not trying to get you scared to go to Jalen Brunson, but the defensive scheme for the Pistons was definitely better when they were trying to limit Brunson as much as they could and try to let these other guys try to beat him. And then the other side of the court, we're going to start with Cade Cunningham, because I think just his points line, points and rebounds could be a solid spot here as well, just because of the amount of time he's going to get in the court, 39 minutes in that last game. So points and rebounds is definitely something I'm considering here. Again, if he's going to get 37 plus minutes, he's over this in 66% of games. You take Jaden Ivey out of the equation, he's over this in 75% of games. I really think this is a good spot for Cade Cunningham. He didn't get his scoring last time. He got pretty good in terms of his rebounding, but this is just an awesome ball handling matchup for him. Pick and roll ball handling, they're ranked dead last. And again, we saw the first half, Cade was a little bit more limited, but it was about a 50-50 game. It was almost a tie game at halftime. Then they let Cade do a little bit more in the offense at the second half, and that's really when the Knicks took off. So Cade scored a little bit better in the second half, and the Pistons and the Knicks were playing a little bit better. So at the same time, I think they're going to let Cade maybe say, hey, we're going to let Cade beat us, and we're not going to let these other guys get involved. So kind of like a flipped script between these two teams, and I think we could see a lot of Cade Cunningham. The jitters were definitely under his belt, maybe a little bit, coming to Madison Square Garden. First playoff performance for him. Again, they honed in on him in defense, but he shot a decent amount of times, so the volume should be there. He got into a groove in that second half, and I think he should be a little bit more ready to score some points, maybe grab some more rebounds, especially if Duren's going to be limited in this one. So I really like the points and rebounds here at 32.5. If you want to just go to his 26 points, I think that's also a really good angle here, but I do like Cade a lot in this matchup once again. And then talking about a quick under opportunity here, Jalen Duren at 10.5 rebounds, really liking the under here. Now head-to-head, this is going to look awesome, and this just isn't a good matchup for him. He's got to have to play Karl-Anthony Towns a lot of the time, and he's going to have to go outside the three-point line. If Towns is on the three-point line, Duren, it's going to be harder for him to get some rebounds here. Similar types of players not going over their rebounds line very often against this team because they're dragging centers out of the paint. So really like this opportunity for Duren. Put on the top of that he might not get that many minutes. He might get into foul trouble. Didn't play much in their last game, only 25 minutes in that one because of foul trouble, but also because of matchups. So really, really liking this under for Jalen Duren. That is 10.5 rebounds. You could go to his points as well, but he could, that's only 5 shots pretty much down low, or 6 shots down low, I guess. But at the same time, if he's not going to get that many minutes, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to do. And then assists, you could look at that too. 50%. I guess the rebounds and assist line is probably at 12.5. Yeah, minus 114. So the 10.5 rebounds is a little bit juiced. I think that's the best prop to go to. But if you want to get rid of some of that juice, maybe just go to his rebounds and assist line at 12.5. I just think he's going to be limited in the minutes. If he's not going to get 30 minutes, you're going to see 30 less minutes from him. Still a 60% hit rate, but at the same time, again, you just think about the scheme and how it goes on against this Karl-Anthony Towns New York Knicks team. They're going to drag him out of the paint as much as possible, and it's just going to be harder for him to get some rebounds. So Duren under his rebounds and assists, or really the rebounds line I like a lot. Another guy I was considering on the under here was Malik Beasley, but at the same time, if I think Duren's going to be limited, I think the Pistons will probably go for a more shooting lineup, and he did get 35 minutes in that first game. 15.5 points might seem a little bit too steep, and the matchup here is really good for him to go under, especially if we think they're going to let Cade do his thing and really stay down on these spot-up shooters, which we could see. The head-to-head, again, he's gone over in 3 of the 5 games, but some of these games really limited, 27 minutes, 25 minutes. The only problem here is I do think he's going to need to get a decent amount of time on the court. We go back to the projected minutes. We see projected for 31 minutes. if they go for a shooting lineup. It scares me a little bit for Malik Beasley. And with Malik Beasley, he actually plays pretty well in away games and spot-up shooting defenses. Even when you take away those, good defenses and go to only the top 10 defenses in terms of spot-up shooting, he's still actually over this in 52% of games. So something I was considering, would talk myself out of it because I think he's going to get a little bit more time in the court, especially if Duren's a little bit limited. But it makes sense to go to his under if they're going to let Cade Cunningham do a lot of the scoring. Next guy I want to talk about real quick is going to be Dennis Schroeder. He's someone we went to last time. His points line's all the way up at 9.5. We went to it at 7.5, and he cashed for us. But he got a decent amount of time in the court, and he's got a great matchup. So when Cade doesn't have the ball, another pick-and-roll guy is going to be Dennis Schroeder, obviously an Olympic guy on the German team. We see what he does in these big games. So he's not shying away from these big moments. Played 26 minutes in that last game, shot 3 of 8, had 8 points. He also chipped in with 3 assists in that game as well. 3.5 assists is minus 140. Projected minutes for him is going to be a relatively high 25 projected minutes. I know if we see Dennis Schroeder on the court for 25 or 20, let's say 23 to 27 minutes, depending on his matchups and things like that, over this in 57% of games, he do points and assists, 71% of games, and you go games with Cade Cunningham, he's over this in 71 still. So someone I was considering. I don't know if I'll fully get there, but definitely in a situation that he could be scoring some points. Again, especially if the Knicks really, lock in on being like, we're going to let the point guards beat us and not anyone else. Moving into the Clippers and the Nuggets, hopefully we get a really good game again. Once again, that game was freaking awesome, close throughout, overtime, 2-point victory for the Nugs. And we'll start with Nikola Jokic. I don't love honestly any of his lines. I was considering his under in terms of his rebounds or something, just because he hasn't rebounded very well against this team overall. They've got a great defense to stop what he does in terms of his scoring, but this is Jokic at the same time. They could say we're gonna let Jokic kill us, but at the same time they literally came out and said we need to double him better than we did in the first game. 29 points in that overtime game there, so he just kind of crept over there. I'm not going to take an under on Jokic just because we know what he's capable of doing if he really just puts his back to the basket and wants to score the points. So it's really going to be dependent on if Jamal Murray can actually pick it up like he did last game, if Aaron Gordon's a cookie and things like that. If they're not, Jokic is going to go back to the basket and score a lot of points here. So I'm probably just going to stay away from Jokic, even though it's probably a difficult matchup for him overall. Zubac plays really, really well. Jamal Murray, it's going to be a guy that I really like in this one once again. We talked about him in the last matchup. Scored really well against this team overall, really just creeping over his lines in a lot of these, but very consistent. Was able to chip in with a lot of assists in this one too, just because a lot of these other guys were playing well. And I like what you can see on the court. You can see assists for him. A lot of players going over their assist lines. Guys that pass the ball very similarly to a guy like Jamal Murray. 73% of them going over their lines. And again, we just saw him do that once again. He's done it in 3 of the last 5 games. 9 potential assists. So he's very efficient at getting the assists. Here's 10 potential assists, 9 assists overall, 11 potential, 7 potential. So the potentials are there for him to chip in with some assists. So I do like that aspect. So the points and assists is what we went to last time. He was also on the court a lot and rebounded really well. He had 9 rebounds in that game. That's probably Jokic and Zubac kind of boxing each other out, battling down low. Maybe a lot more long rebounds there. And Jamal Murray, honestly, for rebounds, assists, points, I kind of like all the different aspects here. If you want to go to his points and rebounds or points and assists or PRA at the same time, I think this is a good spot for a lot of his different overs. The last 2 games he has gone over this. And again, we know Jamal Murray is going to get a lot of time in the court. Not someone they usually run into the ground, but he's going to get a ton of time in the court. If we're going to see 38 plus minutes from Jamal Murray over this line in 69% of games, let's see if there's any better hit rate here. I don't think there is. Yeah, so PRA is definitely the best hit rate on the board here at 28.5. Definitely someone I'm considering. He chipped in with a lot of different things. Was able to score, was able to rebound, was able to assist a lot in this game. And again, if they really do focus in on that double team for guys like Jokic, Jamal Murray's the X factor on this team and why they could be a championship contender. He just has to be on his A game, and he looked really good in that first one. So pretty good spot here for Jamal Murray. Again, I guess I'll end with the head-to-head. Over in the last 3 to 5 games this season, over in last game, really, really well, 21 points, shot 20 times as well. So if he shoots a little bit better, maybe that's even better. And he also picked it up in the second half. So Jamal Murray, PRA 28.5. We went to his points and assists last time. He's going to get the time in the court. It's probably just going to be the more opportunities for some rebounds, especially Zubac and Jokic battling down low down there. It could just be a little bit more long rebounding for a guy like Jamal Murray if he's crashing for us. Next guy I want to talk about is going to be Russell Westbrook here at 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists, just because of how many minutes he got last game. I think we could see something similar. And it's not like he was out there and not playing positive basketball. He was a +7 in this department. So they definitely went to him a lot over MPJ, who was a -8 in this game. That doesn't say the whole story, but at the same time, Westbrook was just actually out there trying. He got a lot of rebounds, wasn't able to chip in with many assists, but if he's going to be on the court, we know what he can do there. He's a veteran type guy, and he's very unconventional because he looks like sometimes he can't even hold on to the ball, but at the same time, they grabs 2 offensive rebounds in a row and hits a big 3. All of a sudden, Westbrook's looking like a good player out there. So the minutes are projected for 26 minutes as of right now. We saw him play 34 minutes in that overtime game last time. I don't think he's going to get 34 minutes, but if he's going to get 25 plus minutes in this game, I'd say 25 to even just like 32, 31, 30 minutes. He's over this line in 79.2% of those games. So really like what I'm seeing from here. Obviously, maybe some bad blood with the Clippers organization as well. Gone over this in 3 of the 5 games. Most recently has been crushing this line in a lot of these games. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Westbrook, 19.5 points. He's a playoff type player at this point. He's playing with a lot of energy, wants to win, and he contributed winning basketball the last game. I don't see why not once again here. So 19.5 PRA. You can look at all of them, points, rebounds, assists. I was honestly looking at his rebounds at first just because he was really crashing the boards, but PRA because he's able to score the ball when he's on the court. Shot 17 times in that last game as well. Didn't shoot well at all, 5 of 17. If he can be a little bit more efficient, hopefully he crushes this line. And then the Clipper side of things, we'll start with James Harden because he did look like the best player on the team out there. We saw kind of a sloppy game from a guy like Kawhi Leonard, 7 turnovers in this one, and we really saw James Harden start this game off extremely hot. But the Nuggets switched that up, and they really limited him in terms of his scoring. They were kind of letting him do whatever he wanted in that first quarter, and they were losing because of that. They switched it up, and Harden became that distributor, that rebounder, whatever. If he's on the court this long, I like his rebound opportunity as well. But he really just turned into that distributor, which I like. He's been going over his assist line a lot recently. It's a perfect assist matchup for him. This team gives up like the most assists in the entire league throughout the regular season. So James Harden, rebounds and assists would be a great pivot for me. I don't think they're going to let him score as much as he did in that first quarter like he did last time. I think they're going to say, hey, what won us the game? We limited James Harden, and even though he's able to contribute on other sides of the court, I think he's going to be limited in his scoring, but really be able to make up with it. There's rebounds and assists. So 14.5 rebounds and assists for James Harden. Like what I'm seeing here, 51% hit rate, but we know he's going to get a ton of time on the court. Projected for, I think, 38 minutes. If we're going to get 37 plus minutes over this in 62% of games, if he starts creeping into like the 40-minute mark, he's over this in 75% of games. So rebounds and assists for James Harden. I think the Denver Nuggets kind of focus on him in terms of limiting his scoring opportunities. So he's going to have to drive and kick and certain things like that, pick and roll, whatever it might be. And I think he can chip in with a decent amount of assists, grab some rebounds because he's going to be on the court for that long. And really liking this rebounds and assist line for James Harden. And then the last guy I'm going to talk about is going to be Nicholas Batum. He's someone that I was like, why is his line so low in that first game? It was literally at 2.5. I knew he was going to get the minutes. He's, again, one of those veteran type players, a playoff type guy, and he was really big for them in that first game. 24 minutes in the overtime. He's projected for around 18 minutes in this game. So again, we're not going to see, I don't think we're going to see less than 16, 17 minutes from him. 16 plus minutes. He's over this line. It's 58% of games. So I'm looking at his 4.5 points. If you want to get a little bit crazier, get some plus money, 1.5 3-pointers has almost the exact same hit rate. Pretty much the exact same hit rate. And a lot of these shots are going to be threes. He shot 6 times in the first game. All 6 of them are threes. So if you want to go to his threes at plus 144, could definitely be a plus money look. The spot up defense here is going to be very weak for this Denver Nuggets team. And we just talked about James Harden. If they're limiting him, he's going to get other guys involved. And we see Nicholas Batum on the court a decent amount, like we saw in that first game, which I think we're going to see today. We could definitely see some threes being thrown up by Nicholas Batum, just has to knock him down for us. So a guy that's a veteran type guy, absolutely a playoff type guy, another Olympic guy that's played for France in big games. He could definitely step up in this situation like he did last game, and we're going to see a lot of minutes on the court from him. You can see he's done the last 4 games here, so kind of in a rhythm here. I definitely don't mind the plus money for 144. And then looking a little bit farther into this, absolutely go to the threes at 1.5 for plus money at 144, which is awesome because every single shot so far this year for Nicholas Batum against this Nuggets team has been a 3-pointer. Not just the makes, literally every single shot he's shot has been a 3-pointer. So plus money for Nicholas Batum, a guy I think is going to get a lot of time. Absolutely a good look. All right, so jumping into the recap, what we talked about in this one, obviously talked about a whole bunch of different plays, but I'm going to focus in on these 5 for the official video picks. Cade Cunningham over 32.5 points and rebounds. Mikal Bridges over 15.5 points. It's a bounce back spot for him. Jalen Duren under 10.5 rebounds. I don't think he's going to play this much in this series, but we'll see. James Harden over 14.5 rebounds and assists, and then Russell Westbrook over his 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Hopefully get a lot of time in the court. And he was, playing winning basketball last game. So hopefully we see a lot from him once again. That'll do it for this one. We talked about at least one play on every single team, which I like to see. Hopefully we get some good basketball in today's slate, because we have been getting good games, kind of hit or miss. It's been like 50-50, a lot of blowouts yesterday. But these two games looking really, really good. A lot of, fun in the two game ones. I think we should see a lot of that in today's game twos. So that's going to do it. If you liked the video, definitely go ahead and leave the video a like, comment something down below if you got an extra second or two, and of course subscribe if you are new. And if you want access to all my plays and a really fun community on top of that, check out the links in the description down below. You can sign up using my DubClub. It's just like the way I process the payments. If you sign up through DubClub and then connect your DubClub account to your Discord account, and that's where you get the access to all the premium plays, but also a really fun community with a bunch of like-minded people sharing their ideas. There's a chat in there. It's a lot of fun. So definitely check out the links in this down below. Plenty of different ways to get in for free too. So if you're not on like PrizePicks or Underdog or Chalkboard or Sleeper or Dabble, any of those different platforms, I have a code. Use my code. Make sure you get a screenshot of my code in use, and then you just go to the free part of the Discord or just the comment section. Just say, hey, I use your code. I'd like to get in for a free month, and I'll go ahead and get that for you guys. So hopefully get some good basketball. Good luck with all your bets. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.